approach because here the theory part is over. We go to data, and then here right now the data is directly available within Microsoft Excel, and we go to from table or range. So right now you can see that, and we press OK. Be with me. If it is your first attempt, it might take time because it will open another editor and then it will take you to the Power Query. Look at this title on top, Power Query Editor. Now it shows table 1. Although the sheet has a name, but sheet name is not included because the whole sheet is not included. Only the data is included which is there in the backend, and it is converted into a table, right? Now look at this, all of you. Very first information we get here is profiling. Profiling gives you the complete idea about it. 5 columns and 384 rows. Got it? Now when we work with Excel and when we work with Power Query Editor, our job is not to compare, but rather let's learn and understand how it can be faster or quicker compared to Excel, the similar kind of transformation. So here I get a quick profiling, 5 columns and 384 rows. Let me take you and ask you, if I talk about employee code, okay, in employee code, ideally it is expected if there is a column like employee code, customer code, product ID or something like that, has to be unique, right? So the moment I click here, okay, now look at this, how fast the transformation of data can be done. We have got column distribution. So we click on View tab and click on column distributions. And here it gives me the idea that 384 distinct values are there and 384 unique values are there. So according to the data which is available here in employee code, it has to be unique and it is 100% unique. Got the idea? So this can be always checked. I can uncheck this column. We talk about date of joining. Do we need time also in the date of joining? We have a column date of joining. Look at this. But here in Power Query Editor, it is identifying it as a date and time both. So I click on this. It is called as a data type. And instead of date or time, I click on date. I say replace current step. Look at this now. I just go and click on applied steps. Look at this. It's called query settings. So first we imported the data and then we change the type. So suppose by mistake you change the type, or maybe you change the type, now you did not want to change the type, that's what you thought. No problem, we don't have any undo option here. We have got applied steps. We delete this particular step. See, back to original. And whatever steps we perform, the list will be maintained here as a complete sequence of the steps. Is that clear? So quickly complete this. Okay. In case if you have closed this query settings, you will get it from the View tab, and when you click on query settings, you get it back. So applied steps will allow you to delete one of a step or one of the step from the list. Okay, and it shows you what is the sequence of steps applied on this data. Got it? Okay. Now how will I move ahead from this? I just completed my job where I have just identified the data and then I have changed the column data type. I can say close and load. Now look at this. So the data transformation is done and it is applied on the 384 rows. Getting it? Look at the name of the table which is loaded here. Okay, so I will call it as personal data. Space is not allowed. I right click on this. How can I go back? Look at this, edit. Every time you don't have to go to the same method, data and insert table. Once table is inserted, you get the query settings in right side, and anytime you can click on edit button. Understood? Next. Now be with me, guys. You're going to see some very quick and magical steps. This is my date of joining column. I want to extract on which day this person joined. 25th 24th Jan 1983. I don't know which day, Sunday, Monday, out of 7 days. Getting it? So we go to transform tab, click on date. We are talking about day of week. Okay, so now it will tell you, if you look at this, out of 0 being the one first day of the week according to the default steps, out of these it is which day. But now if I delete and go back to the date, in the day I have got name of the day also. So what is your expectations? Do you want to get the numeric value, okay, or do you want to get the text? But have you observed it is replacing my actual column? That I don't want. So you can go to the add column and then click on date. Here it is transform. Transform means on actual data. Add column means on a new column. So it will create in a new column. How is this? And then file, close and load. That's it. You got a new column. No calculation, no formula, no here and there. How is this? But it is not necessary that every time after 2 minutes you have to exit from the Power Query. It is just initial steps I'm just telling you. Got it? Edit. Did you find it useful? Easy? Okay. Next, let's say I want to change name from first name, okay, column, to all the capital. It should be in capital. So now it depends. I can go to transform and I can use format and I can say uppercase. Instead, if I want a new column, I can go to add column, format and uppercase. Is that clear? So we select, okay, and we convert into uppercase as a new column. Or if you want to transform an existing column, then do not go to add column, transform, format and uppercase. Very quick and easy. I haven't used any formula function or any kind of settings here. Okay, so try it quickly and tell me, how did you find this tool? Power Query. It's very easy and it's just a kind of a graphical interface. You just click and draw it. That's it. If you go to data tab in Excel, and if you look at this option from table or range, make sure your cursor is within the data, okay, and then you go to from table or range, and then it will ask you create table from this data and say okay, and it will take you to Power Query. Now first part, you understood that you have got the clarity of what is Power Query, getting it. Second aspect was you got the clarity how to start with Power Query. Okay, now third thing, we talk about how we can utilize in day-to-day work, how we can make it useful. Now people have come from different background, different I can say education background and profile here. Okay, so it is applicable and useful for all of you. Fine. Now let us take some of the case studies and let's take some of the flow based from this data. Okay, so let's try. Fine. let's say you have got this data. This is employee based data. Everyone is an employee almost, right? Now what is happening here, we have got employee data, and in this employee based data we have got distribution of data in two ways. All right, the first is personal data, where we have got first name, last name, date of joining and age, and salary based data, which has most of the professional details like which region this employee is working, department, branch, salary. If this data is given to you, okay, if this data is given to you, you will have some of the expectations from this data, right? People will ask you, your client, maybe your manager will ask you to present it in a better way. Okay, give some useful information from this data. This data should talk about it. So how we can do that? If this kind of scenarios are there with us, we always use Excel. We do a lot of data messaging, right? But now it is going to be very simple. So in your data, which is there in various sources like web, Excel, SQL, Access, Azure, anything, and the data in those forms, okay, requires a lot of transformation. So for that purpose, we are using Power Query. So we pull the data in Excel and in Power Query. Through Power Query, we transform and massage the data, and then we load it back to Microsoft Excel or some table. Is that clear? This is the whole story. Anyway, your manager has given you a task. Okay, this is my personal data and this is my salary data of employee. Getting it? Can you quickly update it in such a way that I want to see in personal data as a single column, first name and last name, and what is their salary? Are you guys with me? So from personal data, your manager is expecting, give me a single column which shows first name and last name together, and from salary data, give me a salary. And if you start working in Excel, what are the steps you will perform? I'm not going to show the steps literally, but first you will combine and concatenate with a new column, right? You have to write a formula function. Then you will do a VLOOKUP kind of thing, and based on the employee code, you will get the salary done. But here you will be able to do it in with few clicks without writing any formula and function, and it is going to be live and dynamic data. So the moment I add a new data in personal data and salary data, just refresh it and it will be updated. Does that make sense to you? So let's design. We have got some case studies and expectation from the data. This is one of those, and I will show you more one by one. Be with me, and by end of it you will be amazed. Wow, this is how the story can be created completely. And I will take the transformation through different sets of data. Okay, be with me. So whatever things we have created here so far, I delete that, assuming nothing exists. By the way, if this is closed, you can enable it from the data tab. Okay, queries and connections. Right click and delete everything here. Nothing exists. Coming back to personal data. Okay, so assuming in Microsoft Excel I've got this personal data and I got salary data. Okay, so now I click on this data tab and I can click on from table or range. There is a possibility, right? So I click on this from table or range. Data is loaded. Getting it? It's showing table 1. If you want to rename, you can change the data. Table name can be changed inside the Power Query, and this is called as connection. It is maintaining a connection with this data. I call it as personal. Please do this with me. Personal. Name is changed. Okay. Second is, now you can see it's loaded here. Second data is salary data. And then I can say, if you want to do it with the help of this existing connection, we can click on from table or range. This is my data. Getting it? See, personal is already there and one more table got added. What will you name this table as? Salary, as per my data. Now let's come to the expectations. What is the expectation of your client or manager? That from the personal table, first name and last name should become a single column. That is one thing. Okay. And second thing is that salary should be pulled and shown against each employee according to their name. Is that clear? How can we do this? Very simple. We go to personal. If you want to make and combine these two columns together, okay, let me maximize it if it is not clearly visible to all of you. We select column first name, we select column last name. Using control, we select these two columns and we click on merge columns. It's in transform tab. Merge columns. But when you merge, what should be the separator? So that separator you can select from here. Maybe I want space or anything else. Yes. What should be name of the column? I want to call it as full name of employee. And I press OK. Now what happened? The whole column of first name and last name got merged together. Can you tell me the reason? Window. Can you tell me the reason why it is overwriting my selected columns and making as a new column? I have used transform tab. So which tab I must have used? Add column. But when I go to add column, do I have merged column? Of course it is there. Now how can I undo it? I cannot undo it. I can use uncheck this merge column, delete it. Again select these two. In the add column, I click on merge column. I have already explained it, so I can go quick. See, you're learning it step by step. If you give me the task, within 30 seconds, I can complete it, okay? All right. So now I got a full name, fantastic. Is that clear? Now some people ask, do I need first name and last name columns still exist in the data? It's okay, you can keep it. But if you don't want it, very simple, right click and remove. Very easy. You don't want it, right click and remove. Is that clear? Now look at this next activity. We got the full name column in the personal, and in salary column we have salary also. But how can I combine them together to make a third outcome? That's the expected outcome, not the whole data. So data I have taken from Excel sheet, from any source, and likewise I have taken multiple sources incorporated into Power Query, but output I'll give in one form. What is that? So what I can do, I can create a duplicate query from the existing one. So let's say I right click and create a duplicate, and I can rename it as output. Okay. Usually, you know, in Excel, if you don't want any column to be removed, okay, we don't select that. But if you want to remove the columns in sequence, we select with the help of shift. If it is non-consecutive, we select with the help of control. So I select this column onwards, this column using shift, and right click remove. First method. If I want to remove this one and this one and this one, so I'm using control and click and remove. Okay, one more easy way in Microsoft Power Query Editor is that, okay, I select the column, I go to Home tab, and I say remove columns, other columns. Isn't it easy? Remove other columns like this. Getting it? So it becomes very easy, very easy. But let's understand, if I want to map the data, the name of the person is Abney Jeffrey. Okay, name of the person is Abney and Jeffrey. Isn't it a possibility that there can be 2 or 3 or more than one employee with the same name? Yes or no? So what will be the mapping column? Do you remember? I said we identify the data with the help of unique column, which is called as primary key column in some cases. Okay, so in RDBMS language, so it is a primary key employee code. So I can say I want to keep employee code for mapping purpose, and full name I would like to keep. Rest all I want to remove. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to connect this employee code from this output query to the same employee code, okay, in salary query, and pull the salary value. So for that we look up and do like all the calculation which decreases the file performance. Here it is so simple. We go to home tab and we click on merge queries. Fine, merge query. It has two options: merge queries in the existing one and merge query as a new. I don't want as a new. Already I have created a copy here output, and this is my final query. So I click on merge query. So I want to merge output with salary, right? So merge queries. First is output query. Second is salary. Which column is common? Employee code. We select. Just click output query employee code column and salary query employee code column and press OK. That's it. But you must be wondering why the table has come. Why not that column? Because we first chose these two query names. Now next we are going to understand which all columns you want. So we click on expand, and what do you want? Salary. Okay, just a click and done. And now I can click on close and load. See, so now just imagine you have got personal data, you have got salary data, right? Personal data, and then salary data, and you got the output. No calculation, no formula function use, no nothing. Everything is built in the connections. Easy. And the best part, the best part is that the moment I'll add a new employee, okay, and in the salary data also some details, even if you just put salary, okay, it's good, but preferably put the entire detail as per the nomenclature of data, and then just refresh this query. Right click and refresh, and you will get the updated details. And if it is coming from any other source, how easy it is. They just refresh and the data will get updated there, and here you also right click and refresh, and everything will be updated. Quickly try this. I want you guys to experience it. So I go to personal data, you put any employee code which is unique, put your details, and then in the salary detail also put your details, and just refresh the output query. Try it out and let me know whether it is done or not. So have you understood how easy it is, how much time saving, and no need to learn complex formulas and calculations and like that.